Coach,
Yeah.
where are you at?
In a good place. We're getting healthier, which is good. I mean, I think if you watch the game versus Portland, you'll see, you start to see probably some of our better pieces that we've had in the season so far. A little bit more consistency now lineup-wise, just because of, keeping players healthy, not only getting healthier and stuff. So we feel we're in a pretty good place.
That's what I was going to ask. Does it feel like things are starting to trend in a better direction
Yeah.
in that regard?
Yeah, I feel sorry for our athletic trainer. That's the one I feel sorry for. She's the one who's had a tough time. She's only joined us in the past few weeks, and so she's been overworked. No, we're getting healthier for sure. And the other piece of it is we're not losing players now. I think we went through a 6-game stretch where we lost a player every single game, so we're able to get some consistency now, and so you're starting to see that a little bit more on the field.
I mean, there's a player availability element to that, but it's got to start to feel like there's like a black cloud over you guys at some point too. Just how do you feel like your group weathered that? Are they even tougher now than for having gone through all that?
Yeah, I mean, you're coming off of the Santa Clara game, and you're wondering if it goes one or two ways. You know what I mean? Do we take a dip, and how do we handle that piece? And our kids handled it so much earlier. I think the leadership in the locker room, Zoe, Chai, True, Croy, Leah, those guys, they know the talent that's in the locker room, so they were able to communicate that message and be like, hey, we're good. We just need to settle down and we'll be fine.
With the not only injuries but the back-to-back trips, how do you balance the rest and recovery bit while also installing the game plan and getting the practice in for the players?
Well, the nice thing is we have 2 1-game weekends, so we're able to slow things down a little bit, get recovery on Saturday, give them Sunday off. Yesterday, obviously with the smoke in the air, we were able to do a lighter session inside here, and then they're off again today, and so we're able to buy them back just some minutes and some time and just to recover. And obviously school's coming up soon, so we've got to balance that piece as well. So I feel as though we did that piece really well.
Last year, you had a little bit of a lighter non-conference schedule, but then in Pac-12 play, struggled a little bit. How do you feel like a tougher non-conference schedule this year prepares you for Pac-12 action?
I thought Pac-12, we did okay last year, to be quite honest with you. I mean, I think we finished 5th in the Pac-12. So I think, we did okay with regards to that piece. And, Rachel did an outstanding job this year in terms of putting together a non-conference schedule that was, crazy competitive. I mean, I think we 2-2-4, and we're still set at 61st in the RPI, so in a pretty good place there. So it prepares us for the teams we play in the Pac-12. We play lots of different types of teams. I think one of the things we shifted with the program is going on the road. Making sure we're a team that can handle games going on the road as well. So feel pretty good with what we did non-conference wise in terms of prepping us for the Pac-12.
By the same token, I wonder if there's some things we were talking about before the season even gotten going, which just finishing a few more plays, scoring a few more goals, trying to turn some ties into wins.
Yep.
Now that you're getting healthy again, does it almost feel like you finally potentially have a chance to show some progress in those areas?
Yeah. I mean, starting to be able to put pieces together. I think you're starting to see more relationships develop on the field now because players are, consistently playing together as well. So those things continue to come, and I think they'll continue to build week to week.
You had another instance this past weekend of Kansas City and Portland playing on the pro level and pro ducks on each side, and I know you guys went up to Portland to see when they played there. I believe that's true. But what does that mean for the kids on this team to see players competing at that level? Oregon's program starting to populate the professional ranks a little bit more, and for players like Zoe, Shai, and all the rest, kind of to make realistic that goal.
I think it's how you set it up within the program as well. If you talk about it, and I think when we got here, Chardonnay she'd thought about it but didn't know if it was possible or not. And you're like, no, of course it's possible. You're a good player. So I think for Zoe, for Chai, that's we've had talks already with pro teams that have called about them, so they're very very aware about it. Croy's another one I expected to do well with that. In the future, you've probably got Leah, you've got other players who are going on and play professionally, and there's now platforms for everyone to do that, whether it's domestically, whether it's internationally. So and then people know that they're going to be coming from here, they're going to be well coached, they're going to be fit. I think Chardonnay's proved that when she went with the 23 national team, did really well right away, and fit right in with Kansas right away. So Marissa's someone who I didn't get to coach her, but for her to hang around this long in the league, which is tough, and now be a really important part of what Portland do. It just shows you that, you know, we're able to produce good players here at Oregon.
Do you have a sense that some of your current kids can like hit up Chardonnay and get it and use her as a platform? Hey, what's it like? What do I need to know? Is there anything to prepare myself for that?
Yeah, I think understanding, you know, what the expectations are going in. You know, we try to coach them at that level anyway, and one of the conversations we have with them at the start of, you know, going into the senior year is, you know, if you want to be a pro, then understand you're going to be coached a little bit different. As, you know, we're going to drive you up to a certain level, and we're going to coach you as a pro, and those expectations and the expectations placed upon you, and so if they want to welcome that, then they're able to get to that level here, and then that preps them for the pro level.
Initial look at Washington, what challenges they present, what are the keys for you to succeed?
Very much like last year, they're big and they're athletic. It didn't go too well for us last year, so we need to make sure we make some changes there. But, you know, they're good in wide areas, lots of crosses, you know, good team in terms of Summer Yates is a heck of a player that plays for them, and organised at the back, so it'll be a good challenge for us.
The opening minutes of your matches have seen a lot of action, whether that's giving up early goals or scoring early goals. How have you approached or changed your approach to the opening minutes of the match?
Well, the reality is for the first 6 games of the season, we were slow coming out at halves, you know, in the first half of games. Didn't come out quick enough, and then all of a sudden now we're finding ourselves in a hole and we're trying to dig ourselves out of that hole. I think up until the Portland game, we hadn't been beaten in the second half. You know, we knew we were able to get the team in at half time and get a reaction out of them and change some things up. So we spoke about that openly and honestly as a team about, hey, listen, we've got to make sure that, you know, in the first half of games, we impact the game, we imprint ourselves upon the opponents, and force them to change as opposed to us having to make changes.